Welcome to another edition of Crypto with Kamal. I'm Kamal Hubbard, and we're broadcasting from the Swop in Milwaukee for ICPCC 2024. And I'm joined with Kyle Stoflet, the CEO and founder of the Swop. And you also had a marathon broadcast for ICPCC 24 yesterday. You did an amazing job, so I wanted to give you a congratulations on that. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of it in today's media day. It's been amazing, so thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Kamal. Yeah, and it was a pleasure to officially meet you when you reached out. I was like, oh man, so it's coming from out of state, so I wanted to make sure you got the great experience here. And yeah, the broadcast was definitely a long one. It was 9 hours. It definitely was feeling it during the end, but we got through it and got a lot of positive feedback. So I was really happy with the product, and we had a great team surrounding us to make it all like legit.
Yeah, high production value. It was very seamless from what I was seeing, just, watching on the monitors. Everyone worked really hard, so it's just a testament of all the preparation that you guys put in. So speaking about the Swop, how did you come up with this idea? How did you conceptualize what the Swop is? So maybe start there. What is the Swop? How would you describe it to someone? And then how did you come up with the idea of creating the Swop?
Yeah, so the Swap is essentially a multimedia company. So we cover news, we educate, we cover gaming, entertainment. So it kind of brings us into the whole mix of like events in a sense. So like this is like what we're trying to scale more into, and getting people educated about what's actually happening in Web3. A lot of people like to speculate and do the tokens and all that, and it's not really why adoption should really occur. Like, it's unsafe for a regular person to just dive into that right away or jump into it and start throwing money. Yes, you can make money, but in most cases, these people aren't educated enough to like make a good decision for themselves, or it becomes a big casino. So our focus is to show what's fun in Web3, highlight great communities, get out there, build culture in the space, so more people want to look into it and be like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. Like, that's what we need in Web3, or at least that's how I see Web3 should be. I think if we can convey that message and show people why it's fun and get events like this where, we were at the Outsider, going to other places and, showing people around Milwaukee. We had Esteban come in from Argentina. And they all got to experience Milwaukee for the first time, and that's a beautiful thing. So it stimulates economies, places, and that's important. So, but yeah, I'll pass it over to you. I think it's like just a beautiful event thing to get people a part of.
Yeah, the conference is, obviously it's a global conference. It's co-located in 23 different places. And so I guess another question about that is why Milwaukee? Why did ICPCC come here to be such a pivotal part of that broadcast?
Yeah, so it's funny you ask, because initially we were going to be just like a panel. Like, we had the production to do the studio and so on. And Blockchain Boy was initially asked to be the MC, and I think he was going to do something out in Dubai through a studio. He ended up backing out, and Isaac and Esteban approached me to do the studio and the whole production, and to be the MC of the broadcast. My whole thing is, I'm from the area. I was born in Milwaukee. Ended up moving up north a little bit, but Milwaukee is home to me, and it's very close to Chicago and other great cities in the Midwest. So it's like an easy hub point. And that's something that I've wanted to do for a while, is host events here, because there's great events like Summerfest, and the Bucks are phenomenal right now. Brewers are great. So I think, when people come in and experience that culture, they're going to be kind of mesmerized by oh, Milwaukee's a pretty beautiful city. There's so much great architecture, great food. There's just endless possibilities of what people could fall in love with. So I think that's important because people need to see that side of, a city versus like, I don't I just think like in general, just getting to experience that. Summers are great. Milwaukee is a great time
Right.
for people to come in. I think, especially the weather today was great this morning. We
Yeah.
went for a walk around Lake Michigan, and it was just beautiful. So I think more people will love that.
Yeah, I think I don't ask the question of why Milwaukee, but why not Milwaukee? And all the things that you spoke of in terms of what the city has to offer, I think that's the real question. Why not Milwaukee? And I'm not trying to promote Milwaukee over any other city, but what makes it different from so many other cities is in a lot of ways what makes it great. And just my time kind of coming in and out to visit, it's they got a lot of really great things. Among everything is just the people, great people here, and that's one of the things I enjoy most. And so I think that's been a great thing. So now that you're moving away from the conference, what's going to be next for the Swap in terms of organizing the next event?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have this wonderful studio here now that we can, utilize and do like more networking and cocktail events. Maybe throw up some like little galleries and stuff for people to experience the art within blockchain, whether it's ICP or ordinals. We want to make sure that people are getting the culture when they come and learn about blockchain because it is kind of like a untapped market here. And not like selling it like that, but just getting people educated, foot in the door, learn from people that are really passionate about it, and network and learn the possibilities of how they could maybe use this to benefit their businesses, their daily lives, and so on. So,
And how would you describe the overall, Web3 scene or crypto scene in Milwaukee?
yeah, so there was we had quite a bit of people in here. Like it wasn't like super massive, but we definitely had a group of people in. There was Carl in here, who we both interviewed earlier. Ian was also in here, and Jesse Williams has been a longtime friend here. We were all builders in the Milwaukee area, and we're kind of learning how to best grow events here in Milwaukee together. And I know Ian previously did NFT MKE, and Carl and Ian are part of ETH Chicago. So
Right.
we're trying to figure out how to best build the presence of blockchain in Milwaukee. And I think as we keep doing more networking events, we'll kind of do like little panel segments and let people kind of come in and explore. If they like it, they like it. We're not gonna, push certain topics. It's you either like it or you don't. You're interested or you're not, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think overall, like we're just very passionate about giving people the opportunity to learn. So,
Yeah, and I think that is just, it's good to have that resource for people who are new and they're curious and, they see all this stuff online about what Web3 is or about crypto, and to be able to have that face-to-face interaction, like that was one of the things that got me in, was going to meetups, right? For whether it was Bitcoin or other networks and understanding it better and actually seeing the people who are building allows me an opportunity just like this one to learn more. And so that's great that you're a resource, especially here where, once again, people don't necessarily think Milwaukee and crypto or blockchain. So you
yeah.
guys get to be at the forefront of that. And
We have the luxury of having a city that's so close to Chicago where a lot of people will come up because it's not as expensive, So it's like it's an hour, maybe 15 minutes to drive to and from, or you take the train. So people are willing to come commute to Milwaukee. It's a fun atmosphere, and in fact, there was an owner. He owns 2 restaurants in the Third Ward. He lives from he travels up from Chicago to come manage his restaurants.
Oh, wow.
And he was coming back to today in the afternoon to watch his son's basketball tournament. So, like it's just that simple to get out here from the big city. And, as you mentioned with the events, it's really electric. One of the first events I went to for crypto was Code and State out in New York, and I met our CTO, Daniel McCoy, and he was with Cypher Proxy at the time. And the room of devs all building on ICP was just electric. Like, people that were connecting with each other over the last year, like, getting to know each other, and then all of a sudden, like, you're not a JPEG or PFP, you're a real person, you know, you're not a AI bot interacting on socials, like, you're really real. And you know, people got to experience, like, the energy. Like, they're like, well, what are you guys doing? Like, they were very curious because we were in, like, our own segmented room, and basically everyone was like, what do you guys do? Like, oh, we're like, yeah, we're in crypto. Like, you know, like, you know, like, how do we, you know, tell them, like, without, like, coming off, like, they're like, oh, Bitcoin? No. So we're on ICP, and, you know, it's just, that was eye-opening to a lot of people in New York City at the time, and it's just great to get builders together. We go to a lot of these conferences, and this is the first one we've held in Milwaukee, and we go to, like, NFT NYC,
Okay.
Bitcoin Miami. We'll be at Bitcoin Nashville as media again.
Right.
Well, they just moved the contract to Nashville, so we'll be at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville this year
Right.
as media. So
Okay,
we're trying to
great.
build our presence to, you know, other areas. Like, yes, we want to make Milwaukee our home, but
Right.
we were willing to travel, collaborate
Right.
with other projects for events. So.
Awesome, awesome. And so what do you guys have planned for, you know, Bitcoin Nashville this year?
Yeah. So, you know, we are on ICP, as I mentioned.
Right.
We've been leveraging ckBTC. We just launched
Right.
Go to Gamer on
Okay.
Bionic.
Okay.
So it's a project of ours. So we want to get out there, promote it a bit more, and, you know, help spread awareness to ckBTC at the Bitcoin conference. And to my knowledge, Definity is going to be there, and they're looking to do an event around Nashville. So we want to kind of help make that event, you know, get people out, and, you know, help get the community members from ICP out there to help raise awareness as well. So from what I've noticed with these conferences, when we show up, we're one of the few ICP teams in the U.S. that make it out, and we want to see more people, you know, bring that energy with us, so we can make a presence, help get ckBTC out there. Sorry, it's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, so the more awareness that we can help bring it, like, the more potential it's going to have to get adopted, right?
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see the reception of ckBTC at a Bitcoin conference at Nashville. So how do you feel like the reception's going to be for you guys?
So it's funny you ask, because last year we were helping at Bitcoin Miami with handing out the purple ckBTC, like, little QR codes for people to sign up for Open Chat. So we were with Kyle Langham, William Laurent, Michelle Lord, and I think Aaron Bremser and Blockchain Boy, Joshua Jake. We were all out there, you know, handing out ckBTC, like, little $10 slips that people could sign up for Open Chat. So people were liking it. It was free Bitcoin, but they were, like, confused by it at the time, because it's like, this isn't Bitcoin, you know?
Right.
Like, they're like,
is this paper Bitcoin
yeah,
that
they're
you're
like,
giving me?
yeah. So, like, they're like, this isn't, you know, orange, and, like, so they're like, this isn't natural Bitcoin. This is, you know, something new. And we're like, yeah, it's a trustless bridge. So, you know, it's 1-to-1 in the smart contract, and it gets technical, which I'd rather not explain right now. But
That's all right.
you know, it was just eye-opening. Like, this was the first time that we integrated something to ICP. So the Bitcoin integration allows us to transact Bitcoin at ICP speeds. So it's like 1.5 to, like, 3 second finality,
Right.
something like that. So
Yeah.
it allows us to move it faster, right? So think about it. When we were in New York, and sorry to jump over the place,
That's
but there was a bar that accepted Bitcoin as a payment, right? So if you're thinking about paying for a beer, right, you're going to pay a network fee every time you do that.
Right.
And ICP limits that network fee,
Right.
right? And not only that, you're not waiting for that transaction to process through the mempool, which could be 30 minutes,
Right.
could be a day,
Right.
depending on the mempool congestion.
Of course.
So ICP helps to solve that issue, and think about it this way now. So like if you're getting a transaction paid in 1.5 seconds, like that's already there. That owner of that business can use it right away. They're not waiting for it to kind of like go through the mempool.
Right.
They can use it right away.
Exactly.
It's already there, and then it'll go through the mempool. Like,
So yeah, it makes you wonder about the Lightning network.
Yeah.
Does the Lightning network, from your understanding, see ckBTC as a competitor to them, or do they feel as though it's complementary? Or
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be the best to speak on that.
Yeah.
But I do think ICP's not. It's not like trying to compete with Bitcoin. It needs to
Right.
integrate so that people can use Bitcoin faster. And I know a Lightning is, solving an issue, but I think if we really want to use it in daily transactions, swiping a credit card, all that, you like the daily transaction that we normally do, like we need to do something as fast as ckBTC. High volume transactions can really, in my opinion, only be done with something with like ckBTC.
right.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how people like start to appreciate that in Nashville this year,
Right.
because now we've seen other layer twos form around Bitcoin. So ICP isn't just a new Bitcoin, layer two.
L2,
It's been
yeah.
around for over a year now. So I think it's proved itself with its trustless nature that
Right.
it is something that is sustainable, and now it just needs more awareness around it so that people can build more useful projects around a Bitcoin L2 or a side chain, if you want to call it that. Sometimes Bob Bodley will say that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this year's comparison. This year compared to last year, I think it's going to be more receptive.
Yeah, I would think so too. I would hope so. I think once again, sometimes in this, I mean, I'm not just picking on Bitcoin folks here, but sometimes dogma gets in the way of, oh, hey, realizing that another network can actually improve your network, and once again, essentially make it better. And that's what I see ckBTC is doing, and I thought it was very cool. Just the concept of orchestrating transactions on the Bitcoin network through ICP, and like you said, taking away that transaction fee, taking away that waiting time, response time, I guess, for that transaction to go through. And I'm just really looking forward to Ethereum fully being integrated and a few other networks too. I'm not going to keep naming names, but that's just one of the great things that ICP has to offer. And so that being said, what are some things that you see, some major problems that ICP is tackling when it comes to Web3 and making it more accessible, or maybe more user-friendly, or even more innovative?
Yeah, so ICP is, and I think ICP Jesse was the first to say it, ICP is the everything chain. So like we want to build social dApps on chain, we can do that. We have the full stack web capabilities, everything's in a smart contract. So we've seen great projects like Catalyze, they were one of the sponsors for ICP CC 2024. And just being able to leverage that, I think is a very powerful thing, because now we're not being data harvested by Mark Zuckerberg or any of those big tech giants.
Right.
Read, write, and own is a powerful thing in itself. And I think, the more people that start to realize that there's no like transaction fee with ICP, it's a reverse gas model. I think more people are going to open up to it, because as Sage or Adam said earlier, like paying $300 for a fee is unrealistic. Think about someone else in another country that has to deal
Right.
with that. It's just unrealistic at
Right.
scale. So if we can eliminate that friction point for users, I think we're having a good chance of seeing adoption. And then even, transferring an NFT, if you want to transfer art to a friend or whatever, we're not paying a fee on that either. And so we've seen a project like Discover, which allows you to tip an NFT or tip ckBTC, and we can do it on OpenChat and many others now, just because all of the SocialFi dApps have a principal ID built in. So if I wanted to send you $100 in ckBTC, ckETH, or whatever, I just click your username, grab your principal ID, and I transfer it to you. So it's a powerful thing. If you want to share stuff with family, friends, it's accessible. So.
Okay, so let's go to that concept right there that you just mentioned. So people who may be new to ICP, they create a wallet, and then they're going to see two addresses, right? Their wallet address and a principal ID. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between those two?
So a wallet address is, it's account ID and on plug, and that's more like sending to and from an exchange, whereas a principal ID is specifically on the Internet Computer Network. So it's like a protection layer, essentially, because the technicals of it get a little bit different. When you log in with your Internet identity on any dApp, right? So whether it's OpenChat or Tagger or any of the others, you log in with your Internet identity, you are immediately given a principal ID. Therefore, you don't need to connect a wallet like a MetaMask or anything like that. You would already have an account ID that registers to your Internet identity, I said that wrong, a principal ID registered to your Internet identity that doesn't allow access to your Internet identity wallet, to the NNS or anything like that. So it eliminates that potential rug that could happen to connecting to a site. So it basically protects the user so they don't have to risk anything.
Right.
And we don't see that with other networks, at least to my knowledge. So.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of cybersecurity, right? Mm-hmm. You have a secret key and you have a public key.
Definitely.
Right, and that's what I kind of liken that whole thing to. Obviously, that can be a long, drawn-out conversation for another day, but, something else I wanted to talk about, talking ICP things, right, are Motoko Ghosts and Motoko Sentinels. You broke down the difference pretty well, so would you mind doing it again really quickly?
Yeah, of course. So Motoko Ghost is the first NFT project for Motoko, right? So Dfinity airdropped this, I believe, at the Iconic event in New York in 2021. Now, that was created by John from Poked Studios, who's known for Poked bots, and Motoko is the native coding language for ICP, and it's kind of like the mascot, right? And it's a great 10,000 NFT collection.
Right.
And then Motoko Sentinels, which is the third iteration of Motoko, because there's also a Motoko mech. But so the third iteration of Motoko, which is the Motoko Sentinels, which is a gamified dynamic collection on Bionic that was recently launched. And it has a leveling up process. So Bionic is focused on having a gamified or dynamic marketplace, so it's more interactive for users, right? And so you would essentially get Motoko Sentinels leveled up all the way up to 4, and then you can basically inscribe it to Bitcoin. So it is 100% encouraging everyone to do that process to inscribe to Bitcoin. And when that happens, it's going to become a static image. So again, during the leveling up process, the Motoko will go from just a body to adding a layer as it levels up. So it's getting, essentially, it's getting stronger, right? It's getting new traits. And so once it's inscribed to Bitcoin, now we can still transact it with ckBTC, or it could get listed on a marketplace like Magic Eden or OKX or even other ordinals marketplaces. So now we open up that potential for Motoko Sentinels to be out there in the ordinals market, which is massive. Ordinals on Bitcoin has hit over 2 billion in market share. So it's a massive market compared to the current ICP NFTs, which are great and on chain too. So I think the unique thing is that ICP with the Motoko Ghost NFT is on chain, and the Motoko Sentinels are on chain as well. Whether it's on the ICP side with ckBTC or inscribed to Bitcoin, it's going to be on chain as well. And that's a big narrative for the Bitcoiners, the maxis and all those that enjoy the art over there. So I think it's going to be great because the Motoko Sentinels have a lot of the infinity symbols that we all know and love. And it'll be great for marketing that like purpose because it's tagged to an inscription number. So I believe like we're at over 70 million inscriptions out there since the Bitcoin halving. And once these are inscribed, anyone can look up a specific inscription number and see it. It'll go through like a feed as well. So it will, in theory, help that people can look up and see when the Motoko was first inscribed to Bitcoin, which is cool because it's there forever.
Cool. That is cool. And yeah, it's ICP putting its stamp on BTC once again.
Exactly.
Right? So, Kyle, is there anything that you want to share with people tuning in or ask me? I don't know if there is anything you wanted to ask me. Or
I wanted to get your opinion about like the event and what like brought you to ICP in the first place. Because I know you're working a little bit with the ICP Hub North or North Hub. But yeah, I just want to get your interest, like what brought you in and, overall opinion of the event.
Well, I saw the original launch of ICP so many years back, and, I was just looking at everything at the time, all the various projects that were being released and just doing general research. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like the infinity symbol, right? So, it has to be a cool project. And then I think I did actually look at the chart and I was just like, oh, what happened here, right? And obviously you talked about the story of what happened during the conference, which really helps people like me to understand like what really did take place behind the scenes to actually describe what happened on the charts. And that was something I always wondered. But really last year, someone reached out to me to come to the Dfinity offices in San Francisco, have a discussion on the grants program.
Oh, nice.
And they said, hey, you're a content creator. You're really good. You wrote a book on decentralized finance, the history of money, blockchain 101. You taught a course in India on DeFi. So, we think you'd be a good ambassador for what we have going on here at ICP and raising awareness. And, talk to Javier, shout out to Javier, and all the other folks at ICP Hub North America. It's a great group of folks, and they presented the opportunity for me to create content around what is ICP, and then I also had the opportunity to go to the Black Blockchain Summit in Washington, D.C. and represent ICP and talk to various other builders who are outside of the ICP network and, kind of talk to them and let them know about what ICP is, get their thoughts and feelings on what ICP is. And I thought it was great from an interchange, exchanging an exchange of ideas, right? Because I talked about, well, if there's something that you're not able to do now on the network you're working on and you had an opportunity to do it on ICP, what would it look like? And so, a lot of people are like, well, don't ask me that. But then a lot of people actually indulged in the question, and it was actually very cool to kind of take things to a new level, from an inspirational standpoint of what they can do elsewhere, once again, not begrudgingly to the projects that they're working on, but, and it was great, once again, to be at the Black Blockchain Summit where you have people who, it's almost like teams, right, to a certain extent. Like, we're really all on the same team from a Web3 standpoint, but, we all want to see everyone's project do better and shine, right? But I think it's great to all come together around one table and talk about, hey, why your network may be better than this other network, but then also kind of see past all that, right? And just once again, see that we're really all one big community when it's all said and done. It's just it's almost like different channels on a television, right?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe at one point you may want to watch channel 2, and then at 9 o'clock you want to watch something on channel 5. So, but that was great. It was a great opportunity to represent ICP and still be in that pursuit of learning more. And that's still what I'm doing here at the conference. So it's been great, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, and Kamal, you've been amazing with the interviews today.
Thanks.
I'm the last one of the night, and you know, I got to sit through all of it, and you really crushed it out. Great questions, and it adds a lot of appeal to the ICPCC.
I was just trying to be like you yesterday, man. You really showed up, and that was great. I mean, it was, like I said, a marathon session, so, you know, I just know, I'm like, all right, I can't slouch. I have to get in, get some rest, hydrate, and, you know, maybe dress up a little bit. But, yeah, I just wanted to kind of meet your level of of high standards here. So, you know, thanks for the inspiration, Kyle. I appreciate it.
It was really great to be able to connect with you. And
Likewise,
honestly,
likewise.
like, this was amazing, and I hope that we can get you back for more, for real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, any excuse I have to come to Milwaukee, you know, to eat some cops and you know, get some frozen custard in me. Why not?
Yeah, no, that's a great place for it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do want to real quick just say, like, shout out to Javier, as you mentioned.
Yeah, most definitely.
Got to connect with him early on in the ecosystem for internet computer. Like, we've been on numerous interviews and stuff prior to. Had the opportunity to meet him officially at NFT NYC at the Oniforce event. Shout out to Oniforce. Yeah, we had a hub panel actually at PubKey, which is the bar I was referencing earlier. So it was a great time. We got to, you know, get a lot of the ETH and Ordinals community interested into, you know, ckBTC and all that. But yeah, Javier's been a tremendous help to the ecosystem. The grants program has been amazing for creators like yourself and builders who are getting, you know, dev grants and so on. And Javier and ICP Hub North have been doing an outstanding job. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
They've even had Daniel, our CTO, just speak at the University of Oregon for, you know, teaching about blockchain and ICP, and he got like a lot of excitement out of it, teaching the full class. It was a big full room, and Javier is with them through it all. So
yeah, they're doing a good job with outreach to colleges and universities. So, you know, hats off to them for that, because that's really where you get this next crop of builders, right? Who are just coming out of college and, you know, are inspired to kind of build something, and they can find a home on ICP. So that's great from an outreach perspective in terms of how they're strategizing for that next generation of builders.
Yeah, build for the long term, right?
Yeah, I mean, goes in with the 20-year plan. So
definitely,
that's just makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss before we kind of wrap up?
No, I just want to thank you again, congratulate you on an amazing broadcast for ICP CC 24. Thank you, Aaron, Jenny, Esteban, Ben, everybody else I'm leaving out, Adam, Jesse, everybody, Javier.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here in Milwaukee.
Appreciate it.
And don't just make it a good day, make it a great day with Crypto with Kamal. Back to you, Kyle.
I can't thank our team enough. Like, honestly, you guys crushed it. Can't wait to do more of these great things with you guys. And it wouldn't have been possible without you all. So, I think that's it for me. If you guys want to follow me, it's at _swop on Twitter, or you can check out my personal, which is StofAxeCap, which is STOFAXECAP. So, and then this is going to be shared from our channel and yours as well. So be on the lookout for those.